You know they found this girl, right?
Where?
In our neighborhood. Down our main street.
Is she good?
No,
No,
she's not.
she's dead.
In the quiet town of Florida, a sinister cloud of suspense and horror loomed over the community, shattering the illusion of safety and innocence. It began with whispers and rumors, unsettling whispers that echoed through the halls of a school. A 14-year-old boy, Aiden Fucci, harbored a chilling fascination with murder, carrying a knife as if it were an extension of his dark desires. Then, on a fateful day, tragedy struck when 13-year-old Tristan Bailey fell victim to a crime so heinous it sent shockwaves through the entire town. Aiden led her to a secluded wooded area, a place that would soon become a haunting graveyard of secrets, where he unleashed an unimaginable fury, stabbing her mercilessly. Aiden Fucci and Tristan Bailey were classmates in a Florida school, their lives tragically entwined in a sequence of events that led to Bailey's untimely death.
He said, his knife, he wanted to, slit somebody's throat, and he said it'd be satisfying.
Aiden's disturbing behavior, including an apparent obsession with murder and his habit of carrying a knife, raised red flags among peers and authorities. Despite these warning signs, the tragic events unfolded when Aiden allegedly lured Tristan into a wooded area and brutally stabbed her 114 times. The discovery of Bailey's lifeless body shocked the community and set off an intense investigation. Investigators soon focused their attention on Aiden as evidence began to mount against him. The police arrested Aiden and his mother, who was later charged with tampering with evidence. The case of Aiden Fucci brings attention to the importance of recognizing and addressing potential warning signs in troubled individuals.
He's talked about killing people, he's talked about fighting people. I've seen him practice stabbing motions with his knife.
Friends and classmates of Aiden Fucci have described him as fixated on dark themes and often making disturbing remarks. Reports indicate that he displayed an unhealthy fascination with murder and violence, which raised concerns among those who knew him. This preoccupation with macabre subjects should have been a cause for alarm and prompted immediate attention from adults in his life. Aiden's habit of carrying a knife is another red flag that should have been taken seriously. Carrying a weapon is not typical behavior for a teenager and indicates a potential propensity for violence or a desire to intimidate others. In the case of Aiden Fucci, it is crucial to examine whether the signs of potential danger were adequately addressed and investigated. Did the school respond to the reports of disturbing behavior and take appropriate steps to assess the situation? Were mental health professionals involved to provide support and guidance to Aiden? These questions raise concerns about the effectiveness of existing intervention protocols and the availability of resources to address the needs of troubled youth. While it is unclear how much Aiden's mother knew about his disturbing behavior, the case underscores the need for parents to be actively engaged in their children's lives.
Is she good?
No,
No,
she's not.
she's dead. That's why this is very important. It's all on you right now.
What is my problem?
You were
You
the
were
last
the
one
last
with
one
her.
seen with her. So right now, it's facing you right now, son.
During the interrogation process in the case of Aiden Fucci, investigators embarked on a chilling journey into the mind of a young murder suspect.
Are you not scared?
Not really.
Not really?
I'm a little scared, but
If you didn't do nothing, I wouldn't be worried about it.
No, that's not awesome.
The intensity of these sessions was amplified by the gruesome nature of the crime and the apparent lack of remorse displayed by Aiden.
What were you doing outside that late at night?
I was at Trey's house hanging out with him.
Did you kiss or do anything with this girl?
Be honest as you can to them.
Two.
Yes.
Yeah, I kissed her.
Each question posed by the interrogators aimed to unravel the truth, seeking to understand the motives behind the heinous act. In the sterile confines of the interrogation room, the air hung heavy with tension. Aiden, seemingly detached from the gravity of his actions, sat stoically, his gaze devoid of emotion. The investigators navigated a delicate balance, employing a mix of probing inquiries and psychological tactics to penetrate the layers of Aiden's psyche, hoping to elicit a confession or gain insight into his motivations. The interrogation process aimed to extract information, piece together the sequence of events, and establish a motive for the brutal murder of Tristan Bailey. The investigators meticulously analyzed Aiden's responses, studying his body language, verbal cues, and the nuances of his speech for any signs of deception or inconsistencies. Throughout the questioning, Aiden's lack of remorse became increasingly apparent.
Unless you know anything I don't know. Did you have sex?
The investigators were confronted with the haunting question of how a young individual could commit such a heinous act without displaying any signs of remorse or understanding. Psychological experts were brought in to evaluate Aiden's mental state and provide insights into his behavior during the interrogation. These evaluations were critical in understanding the complexities of Aiden's mind and informing the legal proceedings.
Can you tell me anything different about our car that we don't know about? No? Do you know if this girl got picked up?
I told him about her dealer.
A pivotal moment in the interrogation process came when Aiden attempted to manipulate the situation by claiming demonic possession. This calculated strategy sought to establish an insanity defense, casting doubt on Aiden's control over his actions at the time of the murder. Ultimately, the interrogation process served as a critical component in building the case against Aiden Fucci. It provided invaluable insights into his mindset, his understanding of the crime, and his level of culpability. In many jurisdictions, the primary focus of the juvenile justice system is rehabilitation rather than punishment. However, cases like Aiden's, where the alleged perpetrator exhibits a lack of remorse and understanding, challenge the effectiveness of rehabilitation-focused approaches.
Mr. Fucci, having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I adjudicate you guilty of the premeditated first-degree murder of Tristan Bailey. I sentence you to life in prison.
The sentencing of Aiden Fucci to life in prison raises ethical and practical concerns. While accountability for his actions is paramount, questions arise regarding whether a life sentence for a crime committed as a juvenile is the most appropriate response. Advocates argue that a young person's brain is still developing, and there is a potential for growth, change, and rehabilitation. It is crucial to note that the trial of Aiden Fucci also brings attention to the importance of providing support and resources to the families affected by such tragedies. The parents of both Aiden and Tristan are confronted with the unimaginable loss of a child, forever altering their lives. The trial of Aiden Fucci should prompt a broader discussion about the intersection of mental health and the justice system. It raises questions about the availability and effectiveness of mental health services for at-risk youth and the importance of early intervention in addressing behavioral and psychological issues. Aiden's mother's arrest for tampering with evidence further compounds the tragedy, highlighting the potential role of parental influence and the importance of responsible parenting. While it remains unclear how much the mother was aware of her son's disturbing behavior, the case underscores the need for parents to be vigilant, involved, and proactive in addressing signs of trouble in their children. Schools, parents, and society as a whole must work together to create an environment that supports troubled youth and prevents them from falling through the cracks. The case of Aiden Fucci and Tristan Bailey will forever be etched in the annals of crime, leaving a haunting legacy that transcends the boundaries of a small Florida community. It serves as a grim reminder of the depths of darkness that can be found within even the youngest of individuals. The chilling details of the crime, coupled with Aiden's seemingly emotionless demeanor during the interrogation process, as the legal proceedings unfolded, the society grappled with the weight of the tragedy, seeking answers to questions that may never truly be resolved. The case stands as a somber testament to the fragility of innocence, the devastating consequences of unchecked obsessions, and the profound impact of a single, horrifying act on the lives of so many.